Let's use some count. 3, 2, 1.
What's up, guys?
What's up, guy?
Coming at you with that card review.
Okay. I don't know how to introduce this dude. I'm drawing a blank. This is the hardest part. Once we get into the cards, it's easy. Dr. Jikininki here with my lovely teammate, Ant. Ant, how you doing?
I'm doing great. My name's Ant.
That it is. We're going to be getting into a Kobolds and Catacombs card review. Overall, this set is looking pretty exciting, wouldn't you say, Ant?
Yeah, absolutely. A bunch of really cool cards. Can't wait to play with them.
Is there any class you're looking forward to the most?
Priest is not going to die anytime soon.
Okay, so just to preface this, the way that we're going to be doing this, I think, is we're going to start off with the card. We're going to go through commons to rares to epics to legendaries. We're going to start off with each class. Whenever we rate a card, we're either going to say it's unplayable, fringe, or playable. If we think a card is so broken that we have to classify it, one of us will say it's meta defining. Let's get into our first card. Bark Skin, 1 mana, give a minion +3 health, gain 3 armor. I think it's pretty weak. Thing that typically you want with your cheap spells is to be aggressive. That's why you see Mark of the Lotus, Power of the Wild, and these aggro druids. This one really doesn't accomplish that.
Yeah, or you want your spells to cycle, and it doesn't do that either. You're not getting that much value out of it. It's not much. Sure, you can play it with an auctioneer, but there's probably better spells for that. So I don't know. I'm not a fan of this card. I would call it unplayable.
I'd call it unplayable as well.
Ironwood Golem, 4 mana, 3/6 taunt, can only attack if you have 3 or more armor. It's really weird. I don't know if you would play it right now in the current state, but I think it is decently statted. It does have a downside of not being able to attack if you don't have 3 armor. 4 mana, 3/6 with taunt. That kind of is a big body to get through.
A little better Senjin Shieldmaster almost.
Yeah, exactly.
I think this card is okay. I don't think it's great. I wouldn't be surprised if it saw a little bit of play, but I don't think it'll see much. So I'm going to call this card fringe. I'd
I'll put it in the same category.
Oaken Summons. 4 mana, gain 6 armor, recruit a minion that costs 4 or less. Gaining 6 armor is worth 1 mana. So it's 3 mana recruit a 4-drop, which isn't that bad. So it seems okay. The issue is it's 4 or less. If you're running anything less than 4 mana, you really want to be hitting a 4-drop with this. And a lot of 4-drops you can hit aren't even cards you want to hit. For instance, Druid's big 4-drop right now is Mire Keeper and Fandral. Fandral would be great to hit, but Mire Keeper would just be devastating, and I don't think you'd want to hit Mire Keeper. Maybe you can play with the new taunt cards, but overall, I'm not a huge fan of this card.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's powerful, but I don't know where you would put it right now. That's probably my big thing with this card, because I think six armor and getting a 4-drop is pretty good. But again, it's not guaranteed to get a 4-drop. If you really need to beat aggro decks, right, you can try to pull a Tar Creeper or a 4 mana taunt and gain 6, which gives you a lot of life versus aggro decks. But yeah, that doesn't seem the greatest. I think it could be better later. After maybe rotation, another set comes out.
I'm gonna go with Fringe.
Lesser Jasher Spellstone. 1 mana, deal 2 damage to a minion, gain 3 armor to upgrade. The upgrades deal 4 damage to a minion, and then deal 6 damage to a minion, all for 1 mana. Each time you have to gain 3 armor to upgrade. I'm not sure, I don't really feel that card's super powerful. It can be 1 mana deal 6, which can be kind of huge, but I don't know. I think it's something that I'm not happy about playing, but you might have to play it just because deal 2 damage to a minion, probably okay. Can't hit faces is probably the big thing that sucks, but it's something that helps maybe keep you alive.
I think they were worried about making this card able to go face.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense.
That brings back a deck that we used to have in the past called Mali Druid. With Moonfires, and now this card because it essentially replaces Living Root. So I think they were trying to be careful with that. The biggest issue with a lot of these Druid cards that I'm seeing in the set, they're decent cards. They're actually not bad cards. It's just they don't fit in current Druid archetypes. And I don't think 1 mana deal 2 or 1 mana even deal 4, which is just a pretty good card on its own, really fits Druid. So a lot of these Druid cards I think are mostly fringe, so I would even call this one fringe. Wouldn't be surprised if it didn't see much play just because it's really tight to fit room in Druid.
I want to call this one unplayable, but I think it'll just see play just because it's kind of efficient at what it does, right? It's just 1 mana deal 2. If you want to play an auctioneer kind of Druid, it's okay.
I'm excited for this one. This is a 3 mana 3/1 Greedy Sprite. Death Rattle, gain an empty mana crystal. Druid is getting more ramp, and
well, I mean, this one isn't guaranteed ramp, but yes, more
that
ramp.
is true. We haven't really seen silence be too prevalent, with the exception of Priest and of occasional Spellbreaker techs. And this one comes down before Spellbreaker is really a possibility. I wouldn't be surprised if this card sees a lot of play, especially in decks like Big Druid where you want more ramp cards. It essentially replaces Jade Blossom and it gives you a better body on board. So I like it for that reason.
No, I think it's really hard to say that it replaces Jade Blossom just because like Jade Blossom's guaranteed ramp. Like this one you can kind of ignore it and not get the ramp. Whereas Jade Blossom, like you're always going 3 into 5, so you can play Nourish. And if they ignore this, like you can't really play the Nourish the turn after you play this, which is pretty much a huge deal.
That's true.
In the Big Druid deck, I think just Jade Blossom is better at getting you guaranteed mana ramp so you can go into your Nourish and play your big things. Because, you know, that's kind of what that deck's all about. I was thinking like maybe like a more mid-rangey deck where you kind of value like the face damage you would get of people ignoring, and then if they kill it, you can still play like some sort of like Druid the Claw type of minion where it hits them in the face. I'm not sure exactly, but I think that style of deck is where this would fit more.
Definitely makes sense. I'm gonna go ahead and say this card's playable. I think it's good.
I think it's fringe. I don't think it's East play right now.
You're disagreeing with me, Ant. our first fight, Ant.
Grizzled Guardian, 8 mana, 3/5 taunt, Death Rattle, recruit 2 minions, 4 or less. I don't really want to be playing 8 mana for my 3/5. It does. I mean, the effect is kind of powerful, but again, like what 4-drops are you running? So I like if this ever sees play. I don't see it right now. I would just honestly just call it unplayable because it's an 8 mana 3/5.
Maybe some taunt druid comes out of the works. We saw that on the live stream when they were first announcing it. You saw this pull out the 3/6s that we mentioned earlier. Pulled out the Astral Tiger, which you'll see later on. Overall, though, I think it's unplayable. 8 mana 3/5 is pretty bad, even if you pull some great cards. I could be wrong, but I think it's unplayable.
It's unplayable.
Astral Tiger, 4 mana 3/5, Death Rattle. Shuffle a copy of this minion into your deck. Definitely interesting. Let's just give Druid more ways to go infinite. I mean, first they had Jade Idol, and now they have infinite Tigers. That's kind of cute. I honestly think this card's unplayable. I mean, sure, you can outvalue things with Druid, but you already did that in the past with literally every Druid deck except for Aggro Druid.
I don't see it either. Like, it doesn't have taunt, Extinction Shield Master, where I can actually like get value. You have the taunt so you don't die. This is just like a 4 mana 3/5. You're not really happy about playing a 4 mana 3/5. I don't see this card seeing play. All right, Branching Pass. Choose twice. You can draw a card, give a minion +1 attack, gain 6 armor. So you get to choose. You have the 3 options. You choose one, and you get the 3 options again. You choose like another one. Yeah, so you can choose the same thing twice, or you can, you know, split it up. And I think a card that does a lot of things like this card can be really good. The thing is like finding a home for it right now, but I think it is powerful enough to find a home, and I would just call this thing playable. Not sure where it goes, but I think it'll find a home just how powerful it is.
Yeah, I agree. This card is very versatile, and I think versatile cards are really good in the game. So I think it'll be playable somewhere, just not sure where yet. Speaking of the World Tree, one of the cards I'm excited for, 4 mana 1/5 Druid Weapon. They announced a new expansion that all classes are getting weapons now, and the Death Rattle is gain 10 mana crystals. Pretty powerful effect. It does have a lot of charges. Now, I think this card is playable. I think it's good. I think on the launch, I'll be playing around with this card a lot. I think it enables a lot of combos, which is nice. And I think it's just a really good effect. If weapon destruction becomes very prominent in the set, this card could take a hit in the later games, but, you know, I think it's playable and I think it's good.
I don't really think this card's that good. 4 mana 1/5. You kind of have to attack forever with it before you can get it online. I've heard a lot of the you can play Medivh and it replaces the weapon and you get the 10 mana, you can play UI, but I think that's just like kind of a magical Christmas land, like not going to happen very often. Even with combos where like, even if those combos become good with this card, like people start playing weapon destruction and it just messes with the whole combo. I don't really see this card being played. Ixalid Fungal Lord. 5 mana 2/4. After you play a minion, summon a copy of it. Again, I think it could be played with like Twig of the World Tree, where you do this and set up some like Malagos kill, where you can like play this and copy it or something, attack and then like refresh, get a bunch of Malagos as a Moonfire 'em. But again, like if that deck's ever good, you run to weapon destruction, and then besides that, like I'm not sure where else you play it.
Definitely an interesting card. I'm gonna be messing around with it a little bit. Don't know if it's quite playable because we have cards like Faceless Manipulator right now and it does a very similar thing. But I'm gonna call this fringe. I think it might see a home somewhere. I'm not quite sure where.
I want to say it's unplayable. I just don't see where it goes.
Makes sense. Next card is Candle Shot, 1 mana 1/3 Hunter Weapon. So we're moving on into Hunter now. 1 mana 1/3 Hunter Weapon, immune while attacking. This card's hard to evaluate. We've never really had a card that's done something like this. It's really interesting that you can just swing into whatever you want, not feel the repercussions of it. Like if your opponent plays a Flame Imp, you can just swing into it twice and you don't take the extra damage. So on that limb, I'm gonna say this card is fringe. It might see play in some kind of mid-rangey hunter, but I don't quite know.
Yeah, I want to call this card Fringe as well. I'm not sure where it goes. I just never seen an effect like it for this cheap. The thing is, like, it is worse than kind of like Life's Justice, and Life doesn't get played. This kind of lets you play like Pirates in Hunter, kind of be happy about it, right? Since you have like the 4 weapons you can play. This is probably like Fringe to unplayable. I would give it a shot. Like, I'd give it a chance at least. Cave Hydra, 3 mana 2/4. Also damages the minions that are next to the minion that this attacks. This like the problem with Hunter is there's so many good 3s where I just don't see this getting played. I think it'd be fine if there weren't so many good 3s, but there is just so many. I don't think this makes the cut.
I definitely agree. It's just one of those cards that I want to say this might be good. I want to believe it might be good because I'm a Hunter gamer at heart. Rexar really stole my heart when I first started playing Hearthstone. And the reason I say it might be good is because I don't think we've ever had this effect on such a low cost card. The last card we saw with this effect was a 5 mana 4/3, if I remember correctly. Could be thinking wrong. There's also the Garrosh weapon that you get from Garrosh Scourgelord, which is actually really good. So something makes me wonder if this being on such a smaller curve makes this effect extremely powerful. So I definitely want to test around it, but most likely I'm gonna say this card is I'm gonna say it's unplayable. Yeah. I want this card to be good. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's unplayable. There's just so many 3s in Hunter.
Flanking Strike. All right, now this is a card I can get behind. 4 mana, deal 3 damage to a minion, summon a 3/3 wolf. I think it's a pretty strong card for Hunter. I think this is actually one of the best cards Hunter got revealed. The reason I think this is so strong is because dealing 3 damage is about worth, I'd say about 2 mana, and a 3/3 on average, you're getting a 3/3 for 2 mana. So that's how I like to look at cards sometimes. Sometimes that's wrong to look at cards that way, but I like to kind of break cards down on a base level.
I think it probably goes in every Hunter deck for as long as this card exists. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I feel like it would be. Helps you fight for the board, which is like something that Hunters always have a problem with. It just seems like a good card.
Next we have Wandering Monster. 2 mana secret. When an enemy attacks your hero, summon a 3-cost minion as the new target. What's your opinion, Ant?
I'm not sure. Like, I want to say it's good. I think it's fine, you know. It's probably one of the better secrets the Hunter can play, especially because, you know, even things with like Rogue Dagger going to face, the minion's going to live. I feel like a lot of times the minion's going to live. There are, you know, a couple of good death rattles on 3. I think it's fine. In like a secret Hunter, I think this is probably one of the good secrets that I would want to play. And then you can always play it with like something like Snake Trap. Make it so like, oh, if they ignore your Wandering Monster and hit your minions, it could be Snake Trap if they do the other way.
I'm actually excited for this card, and I think this is actually, I think it's a pretty good card. And the reason I say that is you're paying 2 mana for a 3-drop, which is good in itself. Now your 3-drop is going to come to the field damaged, but most of the time it's almost like your 3-drop took a value trade. So if your 3-drop takes a value trade, you cheated out a 3-drop, did what you wanted it to do, and then it's coming back to your turn where you can play your other 3-drop. I definitely see where this card could be potentially strong, and I'm gonna say it's good and playable.
Yeah, I think it's playable as well. Lesser Emerald Spellstone, 5 mana or 7/2/3/3 wolves. To upgrade it, you play a secret, and then you would get 3. Play another secret, then you get 4. Like 5 mana, 6/6 worth of stats. You know, not that bad. You know, I'm okay with it. And then if you upgrade it once, you're getting 9 power worth of guys over 3 bodies, which I think is pretty insane. But even one upgrade, it makes this playable. And then the fact that you can upgrade it twice and get the 12 power 4 guys.
It's an army of wolves.
Exactly, living wolves. All the things I've heard this card called.
Living wolves. Muster for wolves.
I think this card is just good, you know.
Yeah, I'm very excited for this card. I think this card is potentially really strong. I also like the flavor behind it. It kind of forces you to play secrets, and then there's some pretty good curves you can come out there with. You can go Wandering Monsters into Animal Companion or Bow, into Flanking Strike, into just Muster for Wolves. Yeah, I think it's a good card.
Yeah, I call this card playable. Seeping Oozling, 6 mana, 5/4, Battle Cry, gain a death rattle of a minion in your deck. I don't really like the stat line on it. I think it can be powerful if you build, you know, obviously if you build the right way. You know, with other cards coming out, it could be pretty good where you recruit a beast, even you recruit like an 8-drop minion. There's a couple death rattles like that in the set. Probably by the end of next year, where we have like a lot of other sets, you can kind of maybe build around this card. Right now, I'm just not like super happy about it, but I think it can see play. I think it's feeling like the fringe side.
Yeah, I think it's fringe as well. It has a high potential, but right now, other than copying, maybe making 4 high mains in your deck or copying a Katharina, I'm gonna say this is on the higher end of the fringe though. I still think it's fringe. Our next card, people have been saying this is worse than the 2 of Spades in any other card game. And
worst card since the 2 of spades.
Worst card since the 2 of spades. I'm sorry, not
No,
the 2 of spades.
clubs,
2 of
right?
clubs. 2 of clubs. I want to disagree with them. All right, it's unplayable. It'll be fun. I have no other words for it.
If the minion of this deck is already like, if it's playable, then sure, this card's good. The thing is, like, I don't know if that's ever gonna be a thing. We have a lot of spells that make minions, and that's kind of cool, but I just don't ever see it being like an actual archetype. I would try this card to make sure it's bad, but it's probably bad.
Oh, baby, we're just stepping our game up here. Crushing Walls. 7 mana, epic for Hunter. Destroy your opponent's left and rightmost minions. Card's unplayable.
It's way too expensive. If it ever becomes good, it's kind of easy to play around. Like, you know how to play around it, but I don't ever see it being good because it costs 7 mana in Hunter. And you kind of want to be like killing them at that point and not crushing their walls. Rock Dead Liar, there you go. That's the closest I'm going to get. 7 mana, 4/2 weapon, battle cry. If you have no minions in your deck, fill your hands with Hunter spells. Again, like, I don't know if the no minion archetype is ever going to be good. If it is, sure, this goes in it. Our Hunter spells have usually been bad. Like, sure, you can maybe like get a spell stone or like a flanking strike, those kind of things, but usually like Hunter spells are not the greatest.
I mean, maybe you live in the world where you cast this card and you get 7 to my sides and 3 animal companions, and you just start playing pseudo Call of the Wilds, and they're all huffers and they smack your opponent in the face for a lot of damage. Other than that, I'm gonna say it's unplayable. All right, this card, however, 8 mana, 6/6, Battlecry and Death Rattle. Recruit a beast, Katharina Winterwisp. I'm excited for this card. I think this card is good. I think it's playable. I think it'll be in a heavy mid-range hunter of some sort. I like the flavor of it. I like the art. I like a lot about this card. It may not be as good as I want it to be, but I'm really holding out for this card, and I think it's good.
In a vacuum, it's very powerful, but right now, the state of Hunter, you're usually dead by turn 8 because you can't get the board in the early game. So if that problem in Hunter is fixed somehow, then I think this card's very good. Maybe if the meta slows down, or you're not playing against aggro decks, or like you're not losing the early game very often. Other than that, like I don't see this card being that good, just because you're probably dead by 8 anyway.
That's fair. I definitely think that's a fair assessment of the card.
Yeah, I think it's on the fringer side of things.
Mage. I think this card's interesting just because it doesn't have the mana cost. All right, so Ant, why don't you go ahead and introduce this card?
Each turn this is in your hand, transform it into a random mage spell. It's kind of like Shifter's Air, right? But for spells. I want to know what my spells do. I have no idea what this does. Could be anything, so I'm not playing it.
Could even be a shifting scroll.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sick.
Shifting scroll turns into shifting scroll. It's unplayable. Let's just face it. Arcane Artificer. I think I pronounced that right.
Artificer? I like saying like that.
Artificer. Whenever you cast a spell, gain armor equal to its cost. 1 mana, 1/2 elemental. People are saying they like this card a lot, and I just can't get behind it. I think it's unplayable, and I think it's bad. Sure, you're gaining armor, but like it's probably dead unless you're comboing this stuff, and you're comboing this stuff. It's like, I mean, are we really going this into Flame Strike? I don't know. I don't like it. I think it's unplayable.
I'm one of the people who actually likes it a lot. You know, I played a lot of Control Mage, and I think this card's, you know, pretty good in it. There's like a lot of games where you're like so close to winning, you just don't have enough life. I mean, there is Jaded, but like there's a lot of like matchups where they kind of just like try not to give you water elementals, and it kind of hurts you because you can't gain life. So I think just playing this and being able to gain a ton of life at once, like playing a big spell, or even against aggro decks, just going like this plus Nova. If you need to stall, like look for more clears, try to get to those later turns where you can play Blizzard, Flame Strike. It helps you a lot. So I like this card a lot. It just helps you so much at surviving, and a lot of times that's just what you need is Control Mage. You just need that like little bit of extra life so you can, you know, get to your later games of like Alex, Jaina, and that's why I don't know, I like it.
Right now I'm gonna say it's unplayable, but I could very well be wrong.
I'm calling it playable.
Next card is 2 mana, 2/2, Raven Familiar. Battlecry, reveal a spell in each deck. If yours costs more, draw it. I want to think this card is good. When it first got announced, I was like, dang, that's a pretty good card. But now I'm looking back at it, and I'm like, I have Arcanologist. I already have a good 2 mana draw card. A lot of times this is probably going to whiff. Even if it doesn't, it's a 2 mana 2/2, which is not that great. I'm going to say Fringe, though. I think it might see play in something, but I'm going to say Fringe.
Yeah, I think it's possible you see play. Also, I'll call it Fringe as well. I feel like if it's better in like some sort of aggressive mage deck where like you don't really care that much if it misses, and if it hits, then like it's huge for you. You know, somehow win on a fireball or something like that, where they like know you have the fireball. I think it's just fun in that kind of sense where like the 2 damage will actually matter, but in like controlling mages, those kind of mages, like the slower mages, I don't think this is very good. Lesser Ruby Spellstone, 2 mana, add a random mage spell to your hand. You play 2 elementals to upgrade. It's cool, kind of like Tome, right? But Playing elementals is usually bad unless elemental mage becomes an actual like archetype. I don't even know if this would see play because like you're not really wanting to play this kind of deck or this kind of card in that deck. So I don't really see this card seeing play. I would call it unplayable.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you, Ant. I think it's unplayable. I just think it's too much of a restriction, and it doesn't fit the deck that it wants to be played in.
3-mana explosive rooms. I get why you gave me this one. Secret. After your opponent plays a minion, deal 6 damage to it. Any access deals to their hero. It can kill a minion. Deal 6 to it. Most of the time, it kills it. Or if they want to like play around secrets, like something like a mirror entity, play an extra like flame elemental they've had. It's killing the flame elemental, and it's dealing 4 to their face. And in the deck where that matters, like it's huge, right?
Yeah.
Like dealing damage to face in an aggressive mage deck is, super relevant, very powerful. I think this is probably one of the best secrets there is for that kind of archetype. It also can kill people through block if that's kind of relevant. If you get them low enough, you play this card. If they play, I don't know, like Acolyte of Pain or Novice, like trying to cycle, assuming you're in an ice block mirror or playing against an ice block deck, it just straight kills them.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's very powerful.
I would agree. I think it is very powerful. I think this is the card that aggressive tempo mages wanted and wish they had over Mirror Entity, and now that they have it, I think they're going to be playing this. The question is, how good is aggressive tempo mages going to be? I can't answer that right now, but in that deck, this card is good, and I think it's playable. Leyline Manipulator, 4-mana, 4/5 elemental. Battle Cry, if you're holding any cards that didn't start in your deck, reduce their cost by 2. I think this, I'm gonna preface this by saying the card is good, but I think it's fringe. The reason I say that is because I'm not quite sure what kind of deck you'd play this in. The only thing I can really think of is either you play it in the new OTK deck, which encompasses you playing this card, you Simulacrum Sorcerer's Apprentices, because it's reduce any card, not just spells, and then you can kill them with the Infinite Fireball combo by not even doing the quest. So I think that's a possibility. That loses harder to Dirty Rat. On top of, maybe you play this in aggressive mage, just tempoed out there as a 4-drop, because I don't believe they had too many 4-drops in the past, mostly just the 5/5, and this is like basically the same stat line, and this maybe can hit a Primordial Glyph card. Other than that, I think this is fringe.
I want to call it playable so hard, just because like, it is a Yeti, and it doesn't have a downside as the Elemental tag, if that's ever relevant. Like, I think this has the potential to be really good. Sure, I could see it in the fringe right now, but I can definitely see it go into like a playable, like in every deck category. Like maybe with rotation happening, one more set. I'm not sure if it's playable right now, but I think it's just a good body with no downside, a pretty good upside, and I mean, I guess we'll just see. Right?
Yeah, time will tell. Oh my god. Alright.
Deck of Wonders. 5 mana. Shuffle 5 scrolls into your deck. When drawn, cast a random spell. Wow, this card's wacky.
This card is something that gives people like Jackie Chan a job.
This guy's supposed to love this.
This guy is supposed to. There's a lot of players that will love this, and I think this appeals to the Yogg-Saron love that a lot of people have. Like, people just love wacky stuff. But I'm glad from a competitive standpoint, I can probably firmly say, hopefully, that this card is bad and unplayable.
It's unplayable. It's way too slow. But, wacky cards, right?
I mean, sometimes they just play Deck of Wonders, and then next thing you know, they draw Pyroblast that hits you in the face, and then they draw Pyroblast that hits you in the face, and you're just dead.
I mean, they can get it off of like book or tome or something, right?
This does weaken those cards. It does weaken the Primordial Glyphs.
Or it strengthens them. Who knows?
it makes your quest mage better, because then you just get random spells casted at random times that hopefully clear the board.
I'm taking this off a glyph every time. I'm just telling you right now.
I'm holding you to that, and that's a scroll of wonder. Yeah, that's what the unplayable card does. Okay.
Dragon's Fury, 5 mana, reveal a spell from your deck, deal damage equal to that cost to all minions. See, like, I think it can be built around and good, but there's already so many good AoEs in Mage that you don't really have to play this. And then if you're playing this, it's gonna really hurt if you have like Frostbolt in your deck, but it still just like doesn't feel that good. I want to say it's good because it could be insane, right, if you hit something that costs a lot, but a lot of times, or not a lot of times, but like there is a possibility of you hitting like Frostbolt, like those kind of cards, and like not getting the clear. And there's probably going to be a lot of scenarios where like you need the guaranteed clear on the 5, and it's just not going to help you. I need to hit that Frostbolt or Ice Block or something like that.
I'm gonna say this card needs to wait a little bit before we see if it can become, like, I'm talking with other expansions, whether it becomes better or not. Right now, I'm gonna say it's unplayable, but I think that's gonna change over time. I think there's too much AoE as it is right now. You would need to build your deck in a harmful way where, like, have to reconsider Frostbolt and Ice Block, which are just key cards right now. So I'm gonna call it unplayable.
Yep, I'm with you, Dr. J. Eluth, is that how you say it? I'm not sure. 6 mana, 0/3. At the end of your turn, draw 3 cards. Every time I've ever drawn 3 cards in my life, it's felt very good. That's lets me do it every turn. Yeah, sure, it's like a 6 mana weapon that is kind of slow, but you just keep filling your hand, and kind of an aggressive mage, you're really happy with doing that. I mean, it is worse if there's weapon removal out there, but you still drew the 3 for the most part. I think this card is pretty playable. I don't know if it has a home right now, but it usually just goes like in an aggressive mage deck. So yeah, I think it could be playable, but not right now.
I'm gonna call this card playable. I think it's strong. I think it's good. Even if you get the initial effect off of it, it's worth about 4 mana. So you spend 2 mana over, but every time it hits again, it's just insane. I think there might become some hand size issues with control mages or other kind of like quest mages or burn mages or whatever. But I overall think this card is just extremely strong, and we'll see play somewhere. Dragon Collar Alana. 9 mana, 3/3. Battle Cry. Summon a 5/5 dragon for each spell you cast this game that costs 5 or more. I think this card's got a lot of potential. I think it gives control mages another win condition that they didn't have in the past. However, against control matchups, it's kind of bad. But this card does say screw Dragonfire Potion, and I'm sure a lot of people want to hear that right now. So, I'm going to say... I want to say it's good, but for now I'm going to say it's fringe.
I'm going to go with fringe as well. I don't think it's very good, but I think you can play it, because I don't think your win condition matters that much what you play in control mage, and you've always wanted to find something that helps you beat priest, because that's one of your like horrible matchups. Yep. So this one can be good at beating priests, because if they just jam their Anduin, you have like a bunch of 5/5s that are hard for them to deal with if they don't have like their one card that deals with the board. If they hold their Anduin, then you just have a lot of time, and that's usually what you want as mage against priest. Is you just need time against them, and if they're playing their Razan on 5, and then they're playing their Anduin on 8, it can be hard to win. But if they just play their Anduin on 8, you play us out, like. It can like steal those games for sure.
Yeah, I agree.
Dry Gulch Jailer. Did I say that right? I hope I did. 2 mana, 1/1. Death Rattle. Add 3 Silverhand recruits to your hand. Probably only playable in Hand Buff Paladin if that ever becomes a deck. I don't see it being a deck right now. The card's not that good. It's not a good stat line for 1 mana. Drawing 3 Silverhand recruits is kind of cool if you're buffing them. But it's still probably not that good.
Yeah, I would agree. I think it's unplayable. I mean, the 3 Silver Recruits is kind of good, but it's like a 2 mana 1/1 body on top of you have to have then hand buffs to make it even worth it, and then you have to develop the mana for the Silver Recruits because they cost 1 mana. So I just think it's unplayable.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
All right, this card, however, Potion of Heroism, 2 mana, give me a Divine Shield, draw a card. I think this card's pretty good. I think this card will make play. The one issue with this card right now is the fact that Paladin is probably going to be weak. They got some of the least support along with, I would say, Shaman. I think Paladin's going to be pretty weak. But this card on its own is a pretty strong card. So I'm going to say it's playable. I just think Paladin's going to be weak. Drawing a card is obviously really good, and then giving him a minion Divine Shield, it's just kind of the best of both worlds.
Yeah, I mean, you can give him a Divine Shield, take a Value Shred, always really good. Draw a card, one of the best things you could put on a card, especially when it's cheap.
Yeah.
I think it just does a lot of things. Or, okay, it doesn't do a lot of things. It draws a card. And drawing a card is the most important thing.
That gives you options to do a lot of things.
Yeah, exactly. I'm with you that Paladin doesn't have very good things to do in the early game. And it's probably this card's downfall more than the actual card itself.
Yeah, this Paladin section will probably be pretty short.
Benevolent Jinn, 3 mana, 2/4. The end of your turn, restore 3 health to your hero. It's an elemental. I don't know if this card's actually like that good. It's 3 mana, 2/4. It restores, sure. I just don't see it being that good. I'm not liking the stats. The healing is probably like minimal. It's kind of hard to play on curve if you haven't taken damage. I don't know. There's like a lot of things I don't really like about this card. It doesn't feel like it does very much. I call it unplayable. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think this is fringe. I would think this would definitely see play in the like control paladin variants or the heavy like the slower mid range variants. The issue with that is it has to like find its way into those, and it's not strong enough on its own to make paladin do anything. So I'm gonna go with fringe. I could see this seeing play somewhere down the road, but for now it's just kind of bad because paladin's looking pretty bad.
Lesser Pearl Spellstone, 2 mana, 7 a 2/2 with taunt. Restore 3 health to upgrade. It becomes a 4/4 and then a 6/6. And yeah, I don't think it's very good. It can help you like tempo out some turns, where you can play like big thing plus like big thing if this is fully upgraded. But I think it's kind of hard to upgrade, and the payoff isn't that good.
Hard to upgrade. Payoff's not good. Don't know what else to say about this card. This card's pretty bad. This is what we were talking about when we were saying. This is what we were talking about when we were saying paladin cards kind of got thrown under the woodworks. They got thrown under the bus. Yeah, I think it's pretty bad. Unidentified Maul. Unidentified Maul reads 3 mana, 2/2, gain a bonus effect in your hand. So as soon as you draw this is one of the unidentified objects. It's the first one we've seen so far. And what this essentially does is this: you don't know what it does when you put it into your deck. So it can do one of 4 things. As soon as you draw it, it'll do one of those 4 things, and I'll show you a quick picture of what those 4 things are real quick. So you can either have a 3 mana 2/2 summon 2 1/1 Silverhand Recruits. They all have Battle Cry. Sorry, I'll preface by saying that. Give your minions Taunt. At 3 mana 2/2, give your minions +1 attack. And 3 mana 2/2, give your minions Divine Shield. Now, if this card was a 3 mana 2/2 summon 2 1/1 Silverhand Recruits, I think this card would be really good, and I think it would see a lot of play. The issue is you cannot guarantee that, and the other effects aren't as powerful and are more situational, so I think it is unplayable.
I think it's like fringe, because I think you're 1/4 to be like a very powerful card with getting the Silverhand Recruits. But like giving your guys like Divine Shield or even +1 attack isn't the worst thing out there. I think they're okay. Like it requires a little setup, but I think those effects can be good. Taunt obviously is the worst, but also again very situational. So I think it can be fringe. It can be played. I'm not sure right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick to unplayable. I think it's pretty bad.
Okay.
Crystal Lion, 6 mana 5/5 Divine Shield, costs 1 less for each Silverhand Recruit you control. I think this card's unplayable. People are saying
it's also unplayable.
I just don't see where I want to be putting Crystal Lion. I want my lions to be ferocious and independent on their own, not reliant on Silverhand Recruits like this lion is. Unplayable. Yeah.
Yep.
It's pretty
there
bad.
we go. We can move on. It's unplayable.
You go ahead with this one, Ant, because I think you're going to give this one more credit than I will.
Call to Arms, 4 mana, recruit 3 minions and cost 2 or less. I think this can be good. You know, it's kind of like drawing 3, putting it into play. Though those 3 are minions that cost 2 or less. If you hit like 3 2-drops, you know, it's like 6 mana worth of guys, and you're taking 3 out of your deck and putting them into play. So I think the effect is very powerful. The thing is, like, Paladin doesn't have great 2-drops. I think you even getting the 1/1 Divine Shield. I'm skipping on the name right now, but even getting that, I think is fine. But yeah, like I don't know what it'll pull right now, but I think the card is very powerful. I've also heard of like combo talks where you have like double Loot Hoarder, like Blood Mage, like those kind of cards in your deck, and you just like recruit 3, get some Loot Hoarders, get a Blood Mage, you know, draw some more cards. So you can draw like 3 more cards, right? Because you draw 3 to put them into play.
And then those 3 all draw a card. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. I mean, there's also the potential of putting Doomsayers into play.
Yeah, exactly.
Doomsayers alongside... Well, I mean, you
like
can just put 2 Doomsayers on the board. Yeah, I mean, Doomsayers along the draw cards. The issue is, like, I could see something like that working when Anyfin Paladin was a deck, because you'd also put Bluegills onto the battlefield. So, I mean, maybe in Wild, but although this isn't like a Wild Talk stream, this is standard. I will say that this card has potential, but right now I think there's nothing you really want to combo to with Paladin, right?
Yeah.
Like you could play this card, draw your cards. I don't. Is there any kind of combo you want to get to? Like,
it's only like the Auction Master Beardo, but That requires you getting coins somehow. I don't know. I don't know how you get coins. But if you can consistently get coins to kill them in one turn with that card, then sure.
Oh, that's
This is
rough
fine.
though. I want to call this card unplayable right now with the possibility of being fringe later.
Okay, I'm with you on that.
Oh my god, Ant. And do we even
What?
need to introduce this card?
Level up, give your minions +2/+2, or your Silverhand recruits +2/+2 in taunt. If they were like a muster for battle, where it gives you a bunch of minions, or Silverhand recruits, like this would be okay. But even where it is right now, I think it's pretty bad. There you
This
go.
card is really bad. I think Quartermaster saw a little bit of play, and that was on a 5-mana 2/5 body.
I mean, it's all a good amount of play.
I think so,
And yeah, it was on
yeah.
a 5-mana 2/5, which is kind of a big deal because you can kind of just like tempo it out, right? Like make a Silverhand recruit, play Quartermaster, and actually have like stats on the board.
Yeah.
You can't really do that with this because it'd
Nope.
just be like a 7-mana 3/3 taunt.
Bad.
That
This card I'm very indifferent on.
Valenier, 6-mana 4/2 Death Rattle. Give a minion in your hand 4/2. When it dies, re-equip this. Yeah. So I think this is very slow, and I am gonna call it bad.
I want this card to be so good, but I've been thinking about it more and more. I go to bed. I have long nights about this card.
It's way
thinking
too
about
slow.
it, and it's way too slow. And I want it to be. I want it to be 1 mana.
Yeah, but if it hits your doppelgangster, oh god, that's crazy. You have 6/4s and they all give you a Valenier? Oh my god.
And then your 3 Valeniers can hit your 3 other doppelgangsters.
Oh.
I want to say
Yeah,
it's
that's
bad.
bad.
This card, it's Linessa. Sorry, Linessa. Sun, probably pronounced that still wrong. Sun Sorrow. 7 mana 1/1. Battlecry. Cast each spell you cast on your minions this game on this one. I think this card has potential, and I'm gonna say it's good. I think Paladin is bad.
I think this card is very powerful. Like, you're not unhappy if you just cast like one Spikered Steed, but there is like Blessing of Kings. If you play the new Potion of Heroism
Oh, that's
as
really
Divine
good,
Shield.
yeah. And you draw a card.
Yeah, and you draw a card.
So,
yeah, so
it's got
this
potential.
game- yeah, it's definitely got potential, and it only gets better with like other buffs that come out. We're not losing Steed. We're not losing Blessing of Kings. Those are the
We're
ones
not
that are played
losing
right
heroism.
now. Exactly, and maybe another finisher in the Quest Paladin deck. There you go. When they kill your Galvadon.
You have that finishing potential now.
Exactly.
And you're
You have another win condition.
Paladin. I'm gonna call it good. I'll just say it's good.
I think it's good. I think it's playable.
So now we're moving on into Priest, everyone's favorite class. Psionic Probe. Copy a spell in your opponent's deck and add it to your hand. I think it's bad.
Yep, pretty bad.
Can we move on?
Mm-hmm.
All right, thank you. Gilded Gargoyle. 3 mana 2/2 Death Rattle. Add a coin to your hand. I also think it's bad.
Yeah, it would only be good in like Raza Priest if you're okay with playing a 3-mana 2/2. You're probably not okay with playing a 3-mana
I'm
2/2. So it's probably not playable.
Yeah, this is what Paladin wanted, right? This is the one Paladin wanted
probably.
for their Auction Master Beardo combo. Unidentified Elixir.
All right, 3 mana. Give a minion +2/+2 and gains a bonus effect.
So the bonus effects is give a minion +2/+2 and lifesteal, Divine Shield, summon a 1/1 copy of it, or Death Rattle, return this minion to your hand.
I don't know. Like, Priest has usually been okay with like buffs. It's just like the fact that you can't control this one. The 1/1 copy is not very good. I think the other 3 can be good, especially in something like maybe Dragon Priest, where you would be curving, where you would be playing like 1/3 into like another 1/3 into like Librarian, right?
Yes.
Even if it's like return this minion to your hand, like that's pretty good. If you give +2/+2, Lifesteal is usually like okay. Divine Shield is usually like the most powerful because you can take pretty good value trades. I just think the 1/1 is probably like the worst one. So if you can build a deck where you want to play 1s and 2s and curve into this, then I think the card can be very good because it's like it's 3 out of 4 to be like okay.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I just think it's bad because I don't think that's what Priest wants to do. I think Priest is too busy playing with Raza and Anduin on 5 and 8 to play with this card on 3. I also think Priest is too busy making big old dudes like the Lich King and the 4/8, and we're gonna see cards that actually support that archetype later.
I think
So
Dragon Priest can be like
oh yeah, I
pretty
think
viable.
Dragon Priest can, but I
And
think
this would be a card you can maybe play, isn't it?
maybe I'm still gonna call it bad.
Okay. I'm gonna say Fringe.
Okay.
I want to say this card's bad. What is it? Twilight Call, 3 mana, summon 2/1/1 copies of their friendly death rattle minions that died this game. I don't see it being very good. Sure, Quest Priest, if that's what you want to say. I mean, I don't see it. I know that people are saying there's combo potential, there's Quest Priest potential. I don't see the potential personally.
I see a little bit of potential, but not much, so I'm gonna call it bad.
Okay. Bad.
I think it's bad.
I like calling it bad.
I like calling cards bad. This one, however, I dare someone to call this card bad.
They wouldn't be able to because the card's very good.
4-mana 3/3 Duskbreaker. Battlecry. If you're holding a dragon, deal 3 damage to all other minions. It is also a dragon itself. This card's insane. I'm gonna go with this card's like almost meta defining.
I think it is meta defining. Like you might even play it in like Raza Anduin Priest. And like just try to find some dragons to play because the effect is so powerful.
I can see it. It's another AoE. It comes down on turn 4, which is something that Priest was kind of missing.
Yeah.
And then also with it, it also increases your dragon pool. It gives you 2 AoEs against aggro decks, and you already had a mini AoE in the form of Potion of Madness. Now you have this guy, and you have Dragonfire Potion. This card's just ridiculous.
So I think this card's just insane, right? It does everything you want it to do. And more.
I accidentally called this card Duck Breaker. When I was typing it in the files, I was like, oh, Duck Breaker.
I think that's probably a better name for it.
I think it is too. It looks like a duck. Look at its bill. This is the new Spellstone for Priest. It's Lesser Diamond Spellstone. 7 mana, resurrect 2 different friendly minions, cast 4 spells to upgrade. Keep in mind, with all these upgrades effects, they have to be in your hand to upgrade. So they have to be sitting in your hand to upgrade. I think this card's quite good, and I think that's just because Big Priest is a deck, and this does something that Big Priest wants it to do. I don't know the exact ruling or how it works if you have 2 different Lich Kings die, and you want to bring them back. I don't know if it will bring them back.
I don't actually know. That's a good question. I would say that that doesn't happen. This is one that I got like progressively more and more sold on. When I saw it initially, I was like, oh, this card's like probably like not that good, or maybe you play it as a 1-of. And then now I'm just like, yeah, I want this as a 2-of in my deck. I don't know. I think the card is just insane. Like I can still see it as 1-of. Most people are still saying you play it as a 1-of. If you ever upgrade it, it's insane. It probably wins you mirrors because you're Resin 2, Resin 3, Resin 4, like that kind of stuff. You can Shadow Visions for it, which gives you more stuff, more gas in the mirrors.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. Oh my god, you can Shadow. Yeah, this card's nuts. This card might
like
be. This card might actually be meta defining. We forgot to mention earlier that after you cast 4 spells to upgrade it, it becomes 3 minions, and then it becomes 4 different minions. So it's 4 spells each time, and then it's 3 minions and 4 minions. Overall, I think this card's good and playable.
Yeah, I think it's very playable as well.
Yep. Next card. Now, this card I've seen a lot of people saying is insane, and I'm getting sold on it the more I think about it, but I'm not sure yet. I don't want to go for it's insane. Twilight Acolyte, 3 mana, 2/4. Battlecry, if you're holding a dragon, swap this minion's attack with another minion's. I definitely think it's good. I just don't know how good it is. I don't know if it's... I'm just going to go with it's good, and I have no clue.
This is another one, I'm like you, I've got sold and sold more on it. I mean, I just think it's insane because it's like it's kind of like an Aldor effect for Priest, where if they play a big minion, say somehow they get the Ancient one, right? You make it a 2/30, this becomes a 34, and there you go. Like, imagine if Aldor, like, made their attack 1 and also stole their attack. I think that's like the biggest thing. Because it can just turn itself into a threat.
Yeah, you're selling me more and more on this card, Ant. I think this card's good and playable.
Psychic Stream, 7 mana, shuffle all minions to your opponent's deck. Probably one of the best AoEs we've seen ever right now, or ever for like a Raza style deck.
This card makes me want to really loud. Not only because it's called Psychic Scream, but it's also just a really good Priest card.
It's just like death rattles don't matter. Like none of that stuff matters. Just put it all into the deck.
It's a better Twisting Nether, Ant. you can play Psychic Scream and then Archbishop Benedictus.
Oh, that's crazy.
I think this card's really good.
Yeah, it's very good.
Alright, next card we got is Dragon Soul. This is a legendary priest weapon. It reads 3 mana 0/3. After you cast 3 spells in a turn, summon a 5/5 dragon. When I first saw this card, I thought it was going to be pretty good, and now that I'm thinking about it, I think it's bad. I don't think there are that I don't think there are that many times where you'll be able to cast 3 spells in a turn and summon the 5/5 unless it's in the later game, and at that point, why am I not just like summoning a big dragon? So I think it's pretty bad.
I'm with you. I started out really sold on it, and the more I think about it, I'm like, it's not that good. It seems really hard to cast 3 spells in a turn.
I agree. I think it's bad. We can probably skip.
I mean, we can just say it's bad.
All right, 3, 2, 1, bad. You didn't do it with me.
We're supposed to say bad at the same time?
Yeah, all right.
Because your opponent gets the 2 turns first. I mean, if like you just took 2 turns straight away, and then they took 2 turns, it could be like pretty broken. But the fact that they get to 2 turns first is very bad. Bad.
Cavern Shiny Finder. 2 mana 3/1 battle cry. Draw a weapon from your deck. The main. All right, so I'm gonna call this card Fringe, and I think this card might see play, because of the new Rogue weapon. Because I think there's potential there for a deck in Miracle Rogue. Other than that, I think this card's okay. You won't play it in Tempo Rogue because right now you play Prince, and a 2 mana 3/1's not that much better. You also want a dagger on 2 a lot of the times. Besides a Miracle Rogue with the new dagger, I think this card doesn't see play, but I'm going to call it Fringe.
Like, pulling Shadow Blade is pretty relevant as well. Like, Shadow Blade's a really, really good card. And being able to curve into Shadow Blade with this card is probably okay. So I think that makes it Fringe. I don't know if it's super playable. It's still like a 2 mana 3/1. It dies the patches. Dies the hero powers. But it still, like, replaces itself by drawing you a card. I think it can be... like, okay.
Yeah, maybe there's some kind of, like, pirate Tempo Rogue deck that runs this, and you run the Shadow Blades, and then instead of Prince, you run this guy, and maybe some more 2-drops, but, like, other than that, I think...
it could be okay.
Yeah, I think it's okay.
2 mana, Rogue Secret, Cheap Death. When a friendly minion dies, return to your hand, costs 2 less. It is a secret, and I think it is bad. Doesn't do anything. They know what secret it is. They just know how to play around it. Sure, you can have it with Auctioneer up. I don't know if it matters. I think card's bad.
I'm going to say it's Fringe. I think there's potential for it in Miracle Rogue, and maybe it's another card you put in Quest Rogue. I will say, though, however, the one issue with this card is you're right. It is a secret. It doesn't work immediately. So if they recognize you're playing Quest Rogue, because you play the quest on turn 1, and then you play a secret on turn 2, the jig is up. I know it's cheat death. So I'm going to say Fringe. It potentially could see play, but it's probably more on the unplayable side. But I'm going to go with Fringe.
Okay. Sudden Betrayal, 2 mana secret. When a minion attacks your hero, instead attack one of its neighbors. I think this is also bad.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's bad. I don't even want to review it. It's like not even worth talking about. It just doesn't do anything important. It's just kind of dumb, and you can play around it.
Yeah, exactly. All right, the next card. This card, I think is good. Tell them what it does, Dr. J.
All right, Elven Minstrel is a 4 mana 3/2 combo. Draw 2 minions from your deck. I think this card's pretty good. I think the only argument against it is that you lose a lot of tempo in playing it, because it is a combo card, and then it is a 4 mana 3/2, which is kind of bad. But drawing 2 minions, like drawing 2 cards, is good. So it's almost like you draw 2 cards, which is about 3 mana's worth of stats, because Arcane Elect is 3 mana, and then this one's like a 1 mana body left over, so it's a 1 mana 3/2. I think this card's gonna see play, and I think it's good.
Yeah, draw 2. Is it good? You're drawing minions too, which is also like pretty good. You lose a lot of games in Tempo Rogue by not drawing Bone Mares, and this draws you your Bone Mares. Or it can draw you your Bone Mares. Like, gets you closer to those things. Yeah. Gets you closer to, like, Scalebane, that kind of stuff. Vile, Spine, all your important cards. So, yeah, I don't know. I think this card is just very good.
Yeah, and even in a deck like Miracle Rogue, it can draw you Gadgets and Auctioneer, which is
like Arcane Giant, that kind of stuff.
Arcane Giants, Gadgets and Auctioneer. Whatever other minions you run, maybe you run the new 4 mana guy that we'll probably see soon. It just draws you. It just draws you what you need. So I think it's pretty good. I have to click the thing like 7 goddamn times.
All right. Kobold Illusionist, 4 mana, 3/3. Summon a 1/1 copy, or Death Rattle. Summon a 1/1 copy of a minion from your hand. Yeah, I don't think this is very good.
I don't think it's good right now either, but I like the combo potential. But it's Death Rattle, so it's like...
Yeah, exactly. You just kill on their turn. And it was like something that's really hard to deal with as a 1/1. They just like deal with it a lot of times.
Oh, I want this card to be good, and
sorry, Dr. J.
Tell me it's good, and
I'm gonna have to crush your dreams and tell you it's bad.
Yeah, I think it's bad.
All right. You wanna do this one?
Oh, I would love to tackle this card, Ant.
All right.
5 mana worse deadly shot. No, 5 mana. Lesser Onyx Spellstone, destroy 1 random enemy minion, play 3 Death Rattle cards to upgrade. So the upgrade is really heavy. Once you upgrade it, it becomes destroy 2, and then once you play 3 more Death Rattles, it becomes destroy 3. So
that's a lot of Death Rattles that you have to play.
You have to play a lot of Death Rattles on top of
having it in your hand.
And then it's not even like that good. I mean, maybe if you can get to that point where it's 3, it's good, but I don't think so.
Alright. Evasion. 2 mana. Secret. After your hero takes damage, you're immune this turn. Become immune this turn. So, yeah. You know, if they hit you, you become ice blocked. Can't do anything to you. That kind of stuff. I think it's still bad. Yeah. Easy to play around, all that stuff, you know. I guess if you need an extra turn somehow... No, that doesn't even happen. Because if they know the card's in your deck, you still take the initial damage, so they can just, like, maybe set up to one-shot you.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't see this card being very good.
I'd like to think it has potential, but it's probably bad. So I'm going to go with unplayable. I'm going to be on the safer side and just say unplayable.
I think it's very safe to say it's unplayable.
Yeah, I want it to be good, though. I kind of like the idea of this card for Miracle Rogue. I thought it was something they needed, but it's pretty bad.
Yeah.
This next card, if this is the card I'm thinking about. Oh, daddy. Oh, baby. This card, I think, is the best card of this set.
Oh, that's crazy.
I think this card is bonkers. I think it's insane. I think it's one of the best cards of the set. 4 mana, 4/4, Faldori Strider. Battlecry, shuffle 3 ambushes into your deck. When drawn, summon a 4/4 spider. I think this card's insane. I think this card's meta defining. I think it'll be played in literally every single rogue deck.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's very good as well. It's kind of like the one that puts into your opponent's deck, which costs 3 mana, and for 1 more mana you get a 4/4 body, which is pretty insane.
And you dictate when you draw. So if you play a cycle heavy deck, I mean, the odds of you getting the 4/4s are more likely.
I don't even think you have to. Like, it's still fine as a 4 mana 4/4.
I agree.
And the tempo you gain from it being you just drawing one of the 4/4s is pretty insane. So I kind of like this card. You know, I don't know the best card in the set, but I think it's definitely very powerful for sure.
I think it's meta defining, Ant.
We'll see.
I
think it's definitely very good. I just don't know if it's like meta defining. We're gonna play in every rogue deck, all that kind of stuff.
That's fair. All right.
1 mana 1/3 Kingsbane. Death Rattle. Shuffle this into your deck. It keeps any enchantments, so deadly poisons, envenom weapon. I think it keeps the buff from Naga Corsair as well.
Naga Corsair and Greenskin will keep the buff. Yes.
Oh wow. I think it has potential. Like, even with the buffs right now, it's probably not that bad. You can even play like the lifesteal one, which probably can make it good. It helps you with your fatigue, the fatigue game, that kind of stuff. It might not even be that bad. You just build this weapon. When you're out of win conditions in your Miracle Rogue, you've maybe built this big weapon that can kind of kill him as well. Yeah, I don't know. I think it could be pretty good. We'll see. It is kind of a little hard. It is a 1 mana 1/3, but again, like, it's just one of those things I think we have to see. It's not a card we've ever seen before.
I think
we've never seen anything before.
Really hard to evaluate. I'm going to say Fringe, but I really hope it's playable because I love this card. This is probably one of my favorite cards in the set. I like the flavor behind it. I like that we have a 2-mana 3/1 to draw it, and I think it's really unique and is kind of cool. And the funny thing is, we were talking about how Druid can go infinite either. Rogue can now go infinite. They can play this hero power, put it back in their deck, and never take fatigue damage.
There you go, dude.
That's intense.
Yeah, you play it, hit him in the face, hero power, put it back in your deck.
So I'm going to call it Fringe.
Yeah, I think it's Fringe for sure. Sonya Shadow Dancer, 3-mana 2/2. After a friendly minion dies, add a 1/1 copy of it to your hand. I've heard a lot of hype about this card. I want to say it's good. Like, it seems like it's good. I'm just not sure where you play it. A lot of people said Quest Rogue, because you can just, like, play your charger, run it in. You get a copy of that charger, play it, run it in. Like, that kind of thing. With your 1-mana, like, boars, patches, that kind of thing. And it kind of gives you more ways to complete your quest. I'm not 100% sure on it. It just, like, it seems like it's good. I'm just not sure where it goes.
Yeah, I agree. I don't have much to add to this card that you didn't already add. I'm going to say it's good and playable.
Yeah, I'm going to say it's Fringe. I'm not 100% sure.
All right, we're getting into Shaman now. Shaman did not get a lot of love, so I think a couple of these cards are just going to move on through. 2-mana delay damage to a minion, overload 3. I think this card's bad. It doesn't really do what Shaman wants to do right now. Maybe it sees playing to control Shaman, but other than that, I think it's pretty useless, and I don't like it.
I think it is bad, but it's still one of the best Shaman cards revealed.
Oh, wow.
I mean, I don't like. It still deal 8 damage for 2 mana. Like, it's deal with the big thing. It really helps tempo, right? So you can play like a big thing and then kill a big thing in the same turn, which is pretty huge. But besides that, like, it's not very good. It's just the fact that it's 2 mana, deal with a big thing is like the main focus here, where you can have like those tempo terms where you deal with their minion that they usually spent all turn developing, and then you also get to develop behind it.
Makes sense. Yeah, I'm gonna call it bad though. I'm gonna call it unplayable.
I'll call it Fringe. I think it's playable, but I don't think we see it played right now.
That's fair. All right, next card is Kobold Hermit. I actually think this is one of the best Shaman cards revealed besides the legendary minion. 2-mana 1/1 battlecry. Choose a basic totem, summon it. I think this card's Fringe. I don't think there's much to say about it. It's like okay for token Shaman. It's like cute. Yeah. Artwork's
I'm
nice.
the same way. I think it's funny that like we're saying it's one of the best Shaman cards, and it's still like pretty bad.
Yeah, no, it's kind of meh.
Yeah, the fact that you can choose the totem is like pretty huge, right? Because there's always the times where like you need spell power or you need to save yourself with taunt, like that kind of thing.
Yeah, but I remember in mid-range Shaman metas that my opponent always chose spell power, so like.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to bring back Spirit Claws as well.
We go coin Spirit Claws into Kobold Hermit with the
there you go. Damage. Always roll spell power.
Who said Fire War Axe is nerfed? Yeah, other than that, I think it's Fringe.
We're both giving Fringe, right? Yeah. Healing Rain, 3 mana, restore 12 health, randomly split among all friendly characters. It only targets damaged characters. That being said, I think it's still bad.
I think it has potential later on. Right now, I think it's bad. We'll let this card know it's being.
I guess it could be like Healing Wave and like in control.
Yeah.
In control Shaman, it could be like Healing Wave because you're probably not gonna have minions on board. So sure, you heal yourself for 12. So like that's probably where I see it. Besides that, like I don't see it.
Yeah. Other than that, I don't see it because I don't think you're gonna want to heal your minions back up because you'll just evolve them for 2 less mana. All right, yeah, I think it's bad for now. Fringe later.
What is this? Murmuring Elemental, 2 mana battle cry. Your next battle cry triggers twice. Oh, your next battle cry this turn. So it's kind of like Bran. 1 mana less, but no body. Pretty much just a 1/1 elemental. There is some wacky combo where I think you can like OTK somehow. I don't know how.
I think it's you already have Kalamos on the board and you go Murmuring Elemental. World Shaker, you get both of them back, and then you go Murmuring Kalamos. I don't know. I know
there's some way to do it, but yeah. I mean, that being said, like I don't know. I think this card is like not that good, but trigger battle cries twice can be, playable sometimes, right? Like triggering Thrall twice is pretty good, right? It goes 4 to 6, and then like does the other thing. anything on board is also like pretty good.
I think it's like fringe.
Yeah,
I
it can be
think-
fringe for sure.
I
It
think
can
it-
enable some combos.
Yeah,
maybe.
I think it can see play, but right now I think it's bad. Unless
Yeah,
there's some combo
same here.
I'm missing that's absolutely just nuts that I can't think of.
Yep, absolutely. Can we skip this one? I think this card's bad. It's very bad.
You don't want to explain to our audience why this card's bad?
I'll read the card and we can skip it. All right.
Okay.
All right. Primal
Can't even
Talisman,
read it.
3
It's
mana.
that bad. Can't even.
Give your minions Death Rattle, summon a random totem. All right.
All right. Oh my god.
This one's also very bad. So I'll read it. I'll tell you what it does. We'll probably be in agreement that it's bad. Lustrous Sapphire Spellstone, 7 mana. Make a copy of a minion. Overload 3 to upgrade it. And you make 2 copies of a minion. And then overload 3 to upgrade it again. You make 3 copies of a minion. If Arcane Golem were still in the game and you fully upgraded this would be pretty good, right? Because you can 16 them for 10 mana. But
Damn.
it is not in the game. There's
We're
not
talking
good
about Wolf
charges.
Rider, man.
That's only 12 damage, though.
10 mana,
Like, it's
12
not as-
damage. Better than
Is 16 damage even that good? It's probably okay. Yeah, I don't know. Card seems bad. Unstable Evolution, 1 mana, transform a friendly minion into one that costs 1 more. Repeat this, or repeatable this turn. So as long as you have the 1 mana, you can keep upgrading as long as you keep paying 1 mana or evolving. So yeah, if you ever evolve into like a Sorcerer's Apprentice or a what's the elemental guy?
Radiant Elemental.
Radiant Elemental. You can pretty much just upgrade your board all into 10s if you want to. You can just pick what you want. Your entire board just becomes just huge. So I mean, there is that infinite high roll potential, but besides that, there's not.
Well, there is an OTK with it.
Okay.
An FTK, and you go turn 1, Bloodsail Corsair. You pull out Patches. Patches
Okay.
hits him in the face. You
Okay.
then coin Unstable Evolution. The Corsair Patches doesn't matter. You then get Radiant Elemental. You then upgrade the 1 mana card, and you get Bluegill. Then you upgrade that one, you get Wolf Rider. Then you upgrade that one, and you get Korkron.
Okay.
Then you upgrade that one and you get Leroy. Then you upgrade that one and you get Reckless Rocketeer. Then you upgrade that one and you get... What's the
I don't think there's a charge on 7.
I think there is.
Charger. We're just gonna call it Charger.
Alright, you get another charger on 7. Then 8, you get like Charge Devil Soar, or whatever it's called. Then 9, you get King Crush. And then I think they're dead.
Yeah, they're probably dead by then.
Yeah, hopefully.
All right, sick. Got it. We got it.
That's gonna be on... I don't care. There's gonna be billions of games, and that's gonna happen eventually. I love this card!
I wish you were good.
I wish it was too, dude. It's a 5
tell me what
mana
it does.
Alakir. 5 mana Alakir. No. A 5 mana, 5/5 Wind Shear Stormcaller. Battlecry if you control all 4 basic totems. Summon Alakir the Windlord. I want this card to be good, but it's bad.
Yeah, it's really hard to have all 4 totems. It's also like not a static effect. It has to be a battle cry. So you have to have all 4 when you play this card.
Yep.
So you can't just like play it as a 5/5 for 5 and like get the effect later. So yeah, I don't see this card being good.
Nope, I agree. Okay, 6 mana, 7/7 Grumble World Shaker. Elemental battle card. Return your other minions to your hand that cost 1. I'm gonna say this card's good, but I think Shaman's bad. I think this card has a lot of potential for what it can do. Combo potential, the value potential on top of the Jade potential that this card represents. Other than that, I think it's good. I just think Shaman's in a weak spot right now.
I'm the same way. Yeah, I don't think Shaman's very good. But I think this card is good. So, if Shaman ever becomes more playable, more cards to synergize with this, then sure. But right now, I don't see it.
Yeah, makes sense. I'm gonna call it good though. Let's go to the next one.
I'll call it fringe.
Let's we can, 1 second.
Oh, this one's bad.
Are you sure?
Yeah. I'm very positive.
How positive?
All right. The Rune Spear.
Yep.
Forgetting it. The Rune Spear. 8 mana, 3/3. After you attack, discover a spell and cast it with random targets. The fact that you don't even choose the targets is really bad. There's also, if you want to go take a quick look through your collection, you see that there's a lot of very bad shaman spells, like really bad, and there's a lot of them. So you're not even guaranteed to get something good off of this. So yeah, for that I would just call it unplayable.
8 mana, 3/3. Once you play this card and swing with it, realize why it's bad, and then go disenchant it from your collection. That's what I think this card reads. Okay, I've heard a lot of differing opinions on this card, Ant. Why don't you take me through it?
All right. Dark Pack. 1 mana, destroy a friendly minion, restore 8 to your hero. Life gain's something that Control kind of struggles with, so I think this card could be good. It's also can combo with one card that we have later with something Lackey, right? It's a 2/2 that recruits a demon. I can't remember what it's called.
Possessed Lackey.
Possessed Lackey, yeah. It's a 2/2 Death Rattle, recruits a demon. So I think it has combo potential with that if that's a card you would want to play. But there's also like bad minions you can play. Like Librarian you have. Is another card that's coming up in the new set. You can kind of just like sack off for 8 life, because 8 life is pretty valuable, pretty huge, and it's only 1 mana. You do have to destroy a minion, but a lot of times like I don't think it matters. Yeah, I think this card is pretty good. It's just something that helps with Control Lock not being able to gain life. Yeah, it might not be playable with another card that is printed in this set, since that there's another card that also is very good at gaining your life. But yeah, I think this card's okay. I think it's Fringe.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Fringe too. I think you elaborated on it enough. Oh right. Boy, another card Dr. J is excited for here. And Ant better be excited for this card too. I see people are more excited for Vulgar Homunculus, but I mean, this guy is literally looking to the sky and saying, "How am I gonna shape this meta with my pickaxe right now?" I think the card's meta defining. His card's insane. 1 mana draw cards are very particular. They don't have too many of them. This is literally a 1 mana 2/1 that deals 2 damage. This card will be played in every Warlock. I think this card might even make Warlock just bigger than it already is. This card and then their Spellstone I think are just meta defining.
I don't think that one's meta defining, but I think Cobalt Librarian you play in every Control Warlock deck, or every Warlock deck. Why did I say Control Warlock? It just does everything you want to do. Makes your deck 28 cards, right? It cycles a card. It's a 2/1, so you can trade up. It's a 1, so you can get a chain starter with Defile.
There's so many good uses for this card.
Yeah, exactly. I think it just gets played in every Warlock deck. And it also does 2 damage to you, so it can upgrade your Spellstone. That's like another big thing.
This card is insane.
It just like does everything you want to do for 1 mana, and more. I think I think you'd be happy playing it in any Warlock deck.
I was happy playing a lot of bad 1 mana cards.
There you go. Now you got a good one.
Alright. Meta defining.
This one? Oh, okay. Vulgar Homunculus, 2 mana 2/4 taunt, deal 2 damage to your hero, demon. So it comes back with Gul'dan. Again, it's a 2 mana 2/4, which is kind of a lot of stats for 2 mana, and deals 2 damage you, so it helps you upgrade your Spellstone that we'll see later. A taunt to come back with Gul'dan. At first I thought it was something that I would only play in Zoo, but the more I thought about it, it's probably okay in Control Lock as well. Because it comes back with Gul'dan, because it's a nice like anti-aggro tool. I think it's just a pretty good card.
Yeah, I would have to agree. I don't think it'll necessarily see playing Control Warlock, but I could see it. I just think this card's like insane for Zoo. And I just overall think it's like a really good card for Zoo.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm going to say it's good and playable. Another really good card I'm excited for. Lesser Amethyst Spellstone. It is a 4 mana, deal 3 damage to a minion with Lifesteal. I'm sorry, not deal 3 damage to a minion with Lifesteal. I meant to say Lifesteal, deal 3 damage to a minion. Whenever you take damage from one of your cards, not necessarily, you can't life tap and upgrade it. It becomes deal 5 damage, then deal 7. So it goes up by 2 each time. And this card is just really good. And I think it makes Control Warlock just extremely good.
Yeah. I think it's fine at 3 mana. Or 3 damage. Like, deal 3, gain 3. Like, kill something, gain 3 is fine. But I think it gets really insane when you get to upgrade it. Right? So you deal 5, gain 5. Which is something like Warlocks always had troubles gaining life. So you get to deal with a minion and also gain 5, which helps you, you know, an insane amount staying alive. Like it just helps you keep you alive so well. And then if you ever get up to like the 7, like deal 7, gain 7, it's just insane. Like because you could deal with one of their big threats, and you gain the 7.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you like get out of I don't know like burn range, that kind of stuff. I don't know. The card's just insane.
We just can't escape 4 mana 7/7s.
Yes, exactly.
Anything with 4 and 7/7 in it, we can't escape.
Exactly.
I think this card's really good. Oh, speaking of 4 mana 7/7, we have another 4 mana 7/7. Hooked Reaver, 4 mana 4/4 Battlecry. If you have 15 or less health, gain +3/+3 and taunt, and it is a demon. I'm gonna say this card's fringe. I don't think it'll see. I personally don't think it'll see play, but I wouldn't be surprised if it does. I think a lot of times you want to play cards on 4, and you want to play this in like a zoo aggressive deck. I don't think you'd want to play this in like a control deck. So if you are, a lot of times on turn 4, you probably don't have 15 health, unless you're going up against that no minion burn hunter that you're about to. But other than that, I think this card's fringe. I think it could see play because the one merit for it is if it's in your deck and you're like tapping towards the end of the zoo games and you just play a 7/7, it's kind of like Draconic Crusher. Like I don't know. I think it's got potential.
Yeah, I think it has the potential to be pretty good. You also have like a lot of cards that deal damage to you now with like Librarian, Homunculus, and Flame Imp. So I think it is possible to get it online like pretty early. And you have Life Tap as well. I think it's something you can maybe try in Zoo, and it's definitely something I would try. And you have again like the huge top deck potential. It comes back in Gul'dan. It only comes back as a 4/4, but I think that's still fine.
Yeah.
So I think it'd still be fringe. I'm not 100% sure what sees play, but it's something that's worth trying.
Yeah, I think it's worth trying as well. Okay, Possessed Lackey, 5 mana 2/2 Death Rattle, recruit a demon. I think this card's got potential. I don't know. People have been calling it bad. I think this card, with the card we're about to see later, Void Lord, has a lot of potential in a control Warlock build.
Yeah. You gonna have to like not run the cheaper demons most likely. Like Voidwalker, that kind of thing. Yes. But I think it has potential, especially if you play it with like the new card. What is it? I think it's like Dark Pact or something like that. Yeah,
Dark Pact, the one we mentioned earlier.
Yeah, where you can like play this and then destroy it, gain 8, and then pull a demon from your deck that usually is pretty good because you built your deck to be that way. So I think this could have potential. If you just play it as a 5 mana 2/2, obviously it's very slow.
Yes.
But yeah, like I think cheating mana is also always like pretty powerful, and you have the potential to cheat out like big demons pretty early.
Big boys.
So I don't know. It could have potential, but it's probably bad. So put it in like the fringe category for sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna say fringe as well. I don't want to definitely go on a limb and say this is good because it could very well just be too slow. But I definitely think it's something worth trying. And do we review this card?
Yeah, because like, all right. So Cataclysm, 4 mana, destroy all minions, discard your hand. Obviously, like you can play in something like Quest Warlock. It helps you complete the quest like pretty fast. It's kind of like Deathwing, but for 4 mana. And then you can just like tap straight away after playing it. I'm not saying it's like as good as Deathwing, but it has like the potential to be similar. It's not like it's gonna be like pretty good or just unplayable. Dust it. I would say unplayable. Dust it initially. I don't see it being played initially.
I'm gonna say.
Yeah, I think it has potential.
Bad. Ooh.
There you go. That's the big boy.
That is a big, thick boy. Take us through this big, thick boy, Ant.
Void Lord. 9 mana, 3/9, taunt. Death Rattle, summon 3 1/3 demons with taunt. So that's a ton of health, right? So much health.
18.
18 to be exact. Yeah.
Yeah.
18 health to get through his taunt. If you're in an aggro deck and you don't have a silence, this is probably like the worst thing you can ever see for you. Is your worst nightmare, all that kind of stuff. I mean, yeah, it's just a huge body. It puts up more annoying bodies. It comes back with Gul'dan. I mean, it just does a lot of things that I think are like really powerful, and I think it is a card you want to play in all your controlling Warlock decks.
I'm very excited for this card. I think you covered all the points with it. I'm also excited for the interaction with this and maybe even the weapon or the
Lackey.
the Lackey. So yes, I am very excited to play around with this card and see how it does. Bum bum bum. Looks like something from Indiana Jones. Skull of the Minari. Mana rays. I don't even know.
Minari sounds right.
Minari sounds right, but it seems like. Oh yeah, I'm gonna go with Minari. So this card reads 5 mana. At the start of your turn, summon a demon from your hand. 0/3 Warlock weapon. I want to call this card fringe, but I think it's bad. I think there is potential in this card because if you like cheat out a Void Lord with this, like that's pretty insane that you played a turn 6 Void Lord with other stuff. So I want to say it's fringe, but it's most likely bad.
Yeah, I mean, cheating mana is always like usually really powerful, and then the thing with this one is it's a weapon. So if like this actually becomes like a meta defining thing, people just play weapon removal,
Bam.
and you pay 5 mana to do nothing. So yeah, I don't know. I can't see this being very good because it's easily counterable, and the effect it requires you to have a demon in hand. Yeah, I don't see it being very good.
5 mana belong in a museum.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
All right. And the last Warlock card.
Rin the First Disciple, 6 mana, 3/6 taunt, Death Rattle. Add the first seal to your hand. So the first seal is, summon a 2/2, add the second seal to your hand, and it goes on, so on and so forth until you get to the final seal, which gives you a 10/10 that destroys your opponent's deck. I think there's like 5 seals total, right? The last one makes a 5/5.
Yeah.
And gives you the 10/10, I think.
Yep.
So it's like super mana intensive, and
I think I have all the seals here. I think I can go to. Yep, that's the 10/10 boy.
Yeah, Azari, the Devourer, destroy your opponent's deck. You feel like after your opponent, or after you do this whole big long process of the seals, like the last card would just say like win the game on it. But even like instead it just makes it a 10/10 for some reason, and it destroys your opponent's deck. Which like if they're holding Jade Idol, it doesn't matter. If they're playing aggressive deck, you're dead already, so it doesn't matter.
Dry Whisker Armor, 2 mana 2/2 battle cry for each enemy minion gain 2 armor. I think this card is good and playable. I just think Control Warrior might be in a meh kind of spot, but it might not be. But I think this card's good.
I want to say it's fine. I'm not sure how it is compared to Armor Smith. Obviously, like in matchups where you want the Armor Smith, like the Dry Whisker is bad, and like this one's better against decks that make a wide board, obviously. Whereas Armor Smith's better against like decks that don't make a board, like your Freeze Mages of the world, that kind of thing. Where this one's better against like maybe the aggro druids. Yeah, so I think it can be C play. I think it's fine. It's just one of those cards, whichever one you choose to play.
Yeah, I definitely.
I would call it fringe for sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna call it fringe too. Gem Studded Golem, 6 mana 5/9 taunt. Can only attack if you have 5 or more armor. I think this card's pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, it's not that hard to turn on, and it is just like a really big minion, which is good. I don't know, like how relevant that is like the fact that it's just a huge minion, and how much you'd want to play that. But for now, I think it's okay. A little bit of downside, but it can easily be turned on. It's not that bad. Big minion. I think you'll see fringe play.
Yeah, I think you'll see fringe play too. Mm-hmm. It's also good for Taunt Warrior, which is a deck that like comes in and out of the meta. This gives them another taunt. It's also good to find off like Stonehill Defender.
Yeah,
so I think this is just like a pretty solid card.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Unidentified Shield, 6 mana, gain 5 armor. Or you just,
sorry, I hate this card.
Oh, okay. I thought you were upset because you're lazy.
No, I just hate this card. All right, Kobold Barbarian, 3 mana 4/4 at the start of your turn. Attack a random enemy, and yes, that is its attack for the turn. I hear a lot of people asking if it is or not. Yes, that is the attack. I think this card. I want to call it fringe, but I think it's bad.
If there's ever a warrior deck that goes face, like I think it's fine.
Pirate Warrior.
But that has better 3 drops though.
Yeah, exactly.
So there's like ever a face warrior that needs a good 3 drop? I don't even know if this is a good 3-drop, but it does hit him in the face pretty well.
And sometimes it hits something that you don't want to hit.
Yeah, you're definitely right.
So it's probably bad.
It's probably like unplayable, but there might be the scenario where, there's a face warrior that needs a 3-drop, and there's not like a ton of minions or something in the meta. I can't think of one, but it's not like completely, the worst thing possible.
It's no to my side. No,
Exactly.
Gather your party. 6 mana, recruit a minion.
I'm not sure what in Warrior you want to recruit right now, but I think cheating mana is always really powerful. And this is, again, cheating mana. This is kind of like Shadow Essence and Priest. It kind of gets played. You get to play your 10-drop on turn 6, maybe. That kind of thing. Your 9-drop on turn 6. I think it could be good.
Yeah, I think it's got potential. I don't think it's the greatest card. Don't think it's bad. I think it's somewhere like right in the middle. Time will tell how good this card truly is. I mean, Control Warrior typically had issues dedicating mana to playing their win conditions, and now they don't have to worry about it. They just pull it from their deck.
What is this one? Lesser something Spellstone. I can't read that word.
Mithril.
I don't even think how do you say it?
Mithril.
7 mana, summon a 5/5. You equip the weapon to upgrade it. You get 2 5/5s. You equip another weapon. You get 3 5/5s. Even if you get all 3 5/5s, they still don't really do anything. So yeah, I don't think this card is playable.
Okay. I'm glad we're on the same page. Let's just. I wish the Spellstone for Warrior was good,
But it's not.
This is awful. Oh my god, I hate this.
Oh god, this is another terrible one.
Do we want to just skip it? Do we even need to read it?
I'll read it. Bladed Gauntlet. Has attack equal to your armor. Can't attack heroes. 0/2 for 2. All right. Dust it.
Has it been too
I'm telling
long?
you right now. This is a safe dust. If you're here for
safest dust you will ever have.
Free to play advice, safe dust.
I think it's been on the screen too long. Might burn an image into my OBS.
Yeah. Reckless Fury though. 3 mana, spend your armor, deal that much damage to all minions. Obviously, like not good when you have like a ton of armor, but it's probably okay against the decks where it's good against the aggressive decks. Also, it probably replaces Sleep of the Fishes when it rotates. So we'll see. I think it's fine. You have the ability to go like shield block, and then Reckless Fury to deal with a board, deal 5 to a board, or you can go like Whisker, the one we saw earlier, gain 2 for all their minions, and just like on 5, play this, and you kill them all.
Yeah, I think Sleep of the Fishes is better right now, but this will replace Sleep of the Fishes when it rotates, and it might see play as a one-of index. Other than that, I think it's fringe.
Also, if you have like a ton of armor, you can kind of like bait out more minions from them. So like you kind of just like let them knock off your armor, and then see if they commit more. And then when you actually have to use it, you just use it and kill the board.
Yeah.
Warrior
got some bad cards, dude.
8 mana 4 at the end of your turn. Summon a random minion with the cost equal to your armor. It goes up to 10. This card is pretty bad. There's also nerfed a lot of like the slots, right? Like 9.
Yes.
9 has a lot of bad ones. Like 8 got a couple bad ones. 5 got a 1/1. Like there's a lot of good things you can get with this. So yeah, I don't see this card being playable.
I think it's pretty bad. I think it's cute. I like the flavor of it.
Sure.
I just think the body is not worth it. Whoa, Cleaver. 8 mana, 3/3. After your hero attacks, recruit a minion. I've heard people talking about combos with this, where you play this and you Dead Man's Hand your Grom back into your deck, and then you swing and you get Grom, and you just keep doing that. I think it's bad.
I want to say it's bad, but I think the recruit the recruit mechanic is powerful. So we'll see. It's probably bad because it's an 8 mana 3/3, but again, like we'll just see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see. I just think it's bad. And that wraps it up for our classes. Now we're going into the neutrals. Here's your first neutral. 1 mana 1/3 Beast Dire Maul. I think it's a good card.
Yeah. I mean, we already play Alley Cat and Hunter. The card sucks. This card's probably better than Alley Cat. You know, Hunter's probably been dying for a 1-mana 1/3 beast. This one's good. Also,
Yep.
probably good in aggro druid. Yeah.
Just a solid card. It's basic,
Yeah.
simple, and good. I like it.
Wax Elemental. Divine Shield Taunt, 0/2 for 1. It's also an elemental, if you can't tell by the name. I want to say this is bad, but I mean, it has a lot of words on it that kind of matter, right? That could matter.
Yeah.
Divine Shield Taunt. So even if you play it in like Paladin, where you can go Spike Steed with this, it's pretty insane. Playing like a Blessed of Kings on this is pretty insane. So it's probably like for that style of deck where you would want to buff this, because as an 0/2 taunt, it's not very good. All it is like a little roadblock, kind of annoying, but that's about it.
One interesting thing I just want to point out with this card. One thing I actually want to test with it is the Quest Rogue.
Okay.
And the reason I say that is
okay.
because you can stick this on the board, and most of the time it doesn't die. So you can stick it on the board, and then bounce it back after like they try and get through it, like they get through the Divine Shield. It's also when you get your quest done. This is just another good taunt minion they have to go through.
Yeah.
I think the only issue with it is it does cost a mana, so it's gonna be hard. It's not like a Wisp. Like I remember, if instead of Wisp, if practice target dummy or whatever it was, practice dummy was inside the meta, you'd be playing that over Wisp in Quest Rogue when
Yeah,
Wisp was played.
absolutely.
So this reminds me a little bit of that, except for it has more survivability. So I wonder how many times you can go like Quest, coin this into the 3/2 into shenanigans. Maybe that's not realistic, but it's something worth trying.
Yeah, I think it's probably worth trying. Yeah, because a lot of people were already playing like the elemental 3/5 of Divine Shield Taunt. They're playing like Tar Creeper. They're playing Murloc Bilefin. And this is probably better than all of those, just because it's cheaper and helps you bounce. Or not, helps you like after you complete quests. Like it's pretty insane, and it's not that bad early. It's got like a really annoying roadblock.
Yeah, it's
So yeah,
also
okay,
good with
I can see
Sonya.
it.
It's also good with Sonya because they have to go
Oh
through
yeah,
it.
and it becomes a 1/1 Divine Shield Taunt for sure.
Yeah, so it's definitely interesting. Something to worth try. So I want to say it's Fringe.
Okay, yeah, I'll say Fringe as well.
Oh, Plated Beetle, 2-mana 2/3 beast. Death Rattle, gain 3 armor. It comes back with the Zoth Ant.
There you go, dude. I mean, this is a card I would call Fringe, honestly, because it's like fine stats and an upside. I don't know if this ever gets played, but I think it has the possibility of getting played just because it's okay stats with an upside.
Yeah, I agree. I'm gonna call it Fringe. I don't know why, but it's just an okay card. Just
Yeah.
okay.
All right. Boisterous Bard. 3-mana 3/2. Give your other minions +1 health. I'm not sure. I've heard people say it could be good. I've heard people say it could be, or it's really bad. I think it could maybe be okay, but I still probably would not play this. It only go in like an Azu style deck, and there's too many like good 3-drops for a Azu style deck to play this.
Yeah, I think it's pretty bad. I just don't think this is the 3-drop Zoo wants to be playing, and I don't see it being played in anything else, so I think it's bad. I love this card, not because I think it's great, but because it's so funny. They're like, oh, we're releasing Dustbreaker, we have to release Dragon Slayer.
I mean, it's cool. Also, Dustbreaker kills this. That's pretty funny.
Dustbreaker kills this, and then this kills Operative.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, if Dragon Priest ever becomes a big thing, this is probably your answer, right? So you can kill Operatives. Any other like non-legendary dragon that I can think of? Or I mean, sure, there is some other really big with dragons. I don't know, but it helps you kill like hoarding dragon if that's a dragon you decide to play. That kind of stuff. It could be played in that, but besides that, it's probably not playable.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Fringe for the reason that you never know how popular Dragon Priest becomes.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm just gonna go with Fringe. I think it's like 3-mana 4/3 is like okay stat line, and then its effect is really insane if you hit it off on a dragon. So maybe if like you're playing Zulok and Dragon Priest is all the rage and you want to beat them, you start playing cards like this.
Yeah.
Potentially,
there
maybe.
you go.
So I think it's okay. It's fringe.
Okay. I'm with you.
This
Okay.
card.
Fungal Enchanter. 3 mana, 3/3. Restore 2 health to all your friendly minions. Or friendly characters, sorry. So I think it's already just better than Earthen Ring. And Earthen Ring already sees like some play. So I think this could be good. I don't know where, but I think it just has the potential to be good.
Yeah, I think this card has potential to be good. I honestly wouldn't mind trying it in some minion-based board decks like Zoo, for the reason that you get a bunch of value trades and you play this on 3, and then all your minions go back up. Which we've had this card in the past, but it's been too high of a cost to really abuse. And this seems like a low enough cost, along with a big enough body, that it could be abused. So I'm gonna say this card's fringe.
Okay, I'm with you. Kobold Apprentice, Battle Cry, deal 3 damage, randomly spittable minions, 3 mana, 2/1. It's probably 2 mana worth of cards, and it's cost 3 mana, so it's unplayable.
Yep, I think it's bad, unplayable. Knife Juggler died for this. Yeah, I mean, there's no other words for this card.
Yeah. Sewer Crawler, 3 mana, 1/1, Battle Cry, get a 2/3 rat. This is the opposite of Razorfin Hunter.
Yep, it's a mini Razorfin. Yep, and it's bad.
Razorfin Hunter's not played, so this is not going to be played.
Yeah, this is literally the exact same thing, except for the Beast tag is on a different minion.
Sure.
So maybe...
Nice one. XD.
Yeah, that's about all I'm going to go for that one. Yeah, that's bad. Next card. Stone Skin Basilisk. 3 mana, 1/1, Beast, Divine Shield, and Poisonous. I'm going to call this card bad for the reason that Giant Wasp is a card. When Giant Wasp rotates out, maybe this sees play. But for now, Giant Wasp is a card, which is just better than this.
I mean, Wasp isn't even seeing play, so I can't imagine this would see play as well.
Exactly, yeah. Giant Wasp only sees play in, like, Raza Priest for a little bit. Other than that...
I don't even remember that.
Well, it's seen play, like, right now, a little bit.
Oh, okay.
So, like,
yeah.
I just think it's kind of... I think it's bad with the possibility of becoming fringe when Wasp rotates out.
Sure. Alright, I'll give you that. Alright.
Toothy Chest. Comes off Meat Wagon. 3 mana... Sorry about that. 3 mana, Toothy Chest, 0/4 at the start of your turn. Set this minion's attack to 4. I think it's bad.
Yep. Meat Wagon's the only thing I can think of, and that's about it.
Yep. Nothing to elaborate. Just bad. This is... A lot of these neutrals are actually bad. It's more of that they put the good cards in the classes.
I mean, that's what you usually do. It's kind of like filler for Arena. There has to be bad cards inside, all that kind of memes.
Yeah, they don't do too many Bone Mares or... They don't do too many Bone Mares or... What was the other card? Small Time Buccaneers?
Yeah. Well, I mean, that was a rare, but these are all like
Oh, yeah, I see what
commons.
you're saying, yeah.
Bone Mare was a common, but
Oh.
not many of those. This card, 2 Mag Ragers, still bad. Double bad.
But
Sure.
wait, Ant. Magma Rager costs 3 mana, and this is 2 of them for 4.
Oh, you're killing me. Sure.
You can go face with this, Ant.
Nice.
And then when they kill it, you go face with the other one.
XD.
Alright, yeah, it's bad. Yeah, this is pretty bad.
Alright. Hoarding Dragon, on the other hand. 4 mana, 5/6 Death Rattle, give your opponent 2 coins. Sure, like, the Death Rattles, like, can be pretty huge. But it's still a Death Rattle. Probably a lot of people are comparing it to Hoarding Dragon, or not Hoarding Dragon, Hungry Dragon, where it gives your opponent a 1-drop. But I think this being a Death Rattle is still, like, pretty relevant.
Yeah, because they have to kill it.
Right. Like, they have to kill it, and it's a big minion. Right, this is a 4 mana 5/6. That's, like, not the easiest thing to deal with. So it can be really good in, like, a Dragon Priesty deck, or, like, just a deck that wants to hit people in the face for 5 with a 5/6. So I could definitely see this card seeing play.
Yeah, I agree. I think you could see play in some kind of Dragon Priest deck. I think it's just a good... Maybe Dragon Priest becomes more aggressive.
Yeah.
And you just kind of tempo out minions on curve and hit them in the face. Which,
yeah, maybe we even find out, like, it's not only Dragon Priest. Like, we would play it in, like, zoo kind of decks, or, like, other aggressive decks that want just, like, a big 4-drop.
Yeah, I agree. So I think this card has a lot of potential, but for now I'm gonna call it fringe because I think it does have a downside that I don't like.
Yeah, I think it's fine.
I do like
Uh,
this card a lot. 4 mana Shroom Brewer. It's a 4 mana 4/4 battle cry. Restore 4 health. It is basically uh, Earthen Ring Farseer's older brother if he was a kobold. And
yeah,
I think he's just a solid card. I think he's fringe, just solid fringe.
yeah, I think it's fine.
Not much to
Exactly like
elaborate.
Earthen Ring. It'll see as much play as Earthen Ring probably.
Yeah, I agree. Sneaky devil.
Sneaky Devil, one of the best names in the set. 4 mana 2/2 stealth. Give your other minions +1 attack, and it's a demon. I don't think raid leader needs stealth to make it good, so I don't really see this card being good.
Yeah, I hate to say it, but this card's pretty bad. I just don't. It's a neutral demon. We're nerfing demon cards.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Absolutely. Corrosive Sludge, 5 mana, 5/5, destroy your opponent's weapon. I don't know why we would need to play this when there's already other good options. But hey, we get a 5 mana, 5/5. Sure, okay. If you don't own Harrison Jones, then you could play this, right?
Yeah, it's also might be one of those arena cards. That's like
Well,
pretty
yeah,
decent
yeah.
in arena. Because they
I
have
was
to
talking
print
for
those.
constructed.
But like for constructed play, yeah, we have Acidic Swamp Ooze, which I would rather play over this. We have
Gluttonous Ooze.
Gluttonous Ooze, which I would rather play over this.
Mhm.
Because literally they are more flexible. They come down earlier. And then I have Harrison Jones, which I would rather play over this. So I'm gonna
Absolutely.
say bad.
Okay. Bad as well.
And the next card, this is your favorite card, Ant. Wait, no, wrong card. My bad. It'll be like the next
Fungal
one.
Mancer. I mean, this one's bad. So 5 mana 2/2. There you go. 5 mana 2/2. Bad.
5 mana 2/2. Defender of Argus is better. Defender of Argus doesn't see play.
Okay.
I think this next one's your favorite card, Ant. Yeah.
Green Jelly. 5 mana 3/3. At the end of turn, get an O or get a 1/2 ooze with taunt. Yeah, this card's pretty bad. It wants to be Sludge Belcher, but it isn't.
The Sludge Butcher is like, hey, I got you, fam. I'm sending my brother in.
It's kind of cute though.
Yeah, I mean, the oozes are probably cute. I wonder if the next picture is gonna be an ooze when I pull it up. Nope.
Nope.
All right. Gilded Recruiter, 5 mana 2/4. Battle Cry, recruit a minion that costs 4 or less. Some people were saying that this card could have potential with things like if you play, like, for instance, Shaman, and you only play, like, the 4 mana 7/7. The issue is you have to sacrifice a lot to make this card work, and it's not good enough on its own to do that.
Yeah. Also, it's or less as well, so you can't just like run this in a value deck and just like get a 4-drop out. Like you're guaranteed.
Yeah, that's the
or
issue.
it has to be. It has to be or less, which kind of sucks.
Yeah, that's the issue with a lot of these recruit cards is they don't read a specific amount. They just read or less, which kind of makes them worse.
Yeah.
But I think if they read that specific amount, they'd be kind of broken.
Uh-huh.
Yep, so I think it's bad.
Okay.
What the hell is this card, Ant?
What's this? Trog Gloom Eater? 5 mana, 1/5 taunt, poisonous. Bad.
Yep. Bad. I don't even want to elaborate. Like, it's just not good. It
I mean,
dies
there's a 2/5 poisonous doesn't see play.
It dies to a 2 mana 1/2 now.
Yeah. Sick. 7 mana 3/3. Death Rattle Recruit an 8-drop. Some people saying this could be okay in like Hunter with Seeping Ooze. They could take those Death Rattle. But I think I don't really want to be playing a 7 mana 3/3.
No, I think this card's bad, but I have seen the cute Seeping Ooze where you go Seeping Ooze, you copy this summons the 8 mana 4/7 that I'm so fond of, and then it casts Call of the Wild.
There you go, dude. There you go. Sick.
I think it's bad though.
Nice one, dude.
I think it's bad.
It's definitely bad.
I can summon this.
Yeah, there you go. Violent Worm or Violet Worm. 8 mana 7/7. When it dies, summon 7/1/1s. Sure, you can. The Seeping Ooze is a good death rattle to get 7/1/1s. I mean, it's a big thing and has a like okay death rattle cards in Standard Arena, probably not getting constructed.
Yeah, I think it's pretty bad and constructed as well. Okay, this
Oh,
card is interesting.
This is thick.
6 mana, 4/10 with taunt, called Hungry Etten, I think is how you pronounce it.
Probably.
Hungry Eaten. Battlecry summon a random Doomsayer. I'm sorry, random 2-cost minion for your opponent. I think this card's pretty good. My only issue with this card is I have no clue what to put it in.
That's the thing. But I think it's big enough that you can just put it into something. I'm, again, not sure what you put it in. Taunt Warrior, sure, whatever. But it's just a huge card, right? It's like 1 mana less than Nation of War, 1 stat less. Like, it's just a huge thing.
And what's kind of cool about it is if you think about if the average 2-drop minion has 2 attack, it's a 6 mana 4/8 with taunt.
Okay.
That's just good.
I think it's still pretty fine.
Good.
Yeah.
And if you give them a Doomsayer, I don't think you're too upset because
it's 6 mana Twisting Nether.
6 mana Twisting Nether. Unless they didn't have a board that's kind of upsetting. It's good against Priest. It's good against Priest. And then if you give them like a Novice Engineer, it's insane.
Yeah. So there's always like those things. I mean, you can give them
You can give him a Dirty Rat. You can give him a Millhouse Man.
What's the 1/2 poisonous? The 1/2 poisonous.
Oh, you can give a Stubborn Gastropod.
There you go, Gastropod.
That would suck.
That'd be bad.
Do nothing.
I mean, yeah, 6
how
mana do nothing.
How many 2-cost poisonous are there? Just Gastropod?
Void Ripper. Battle Cry,
Void.
swap attack and health with all our minions. 3 mana 3/3. I mean, I'm not sure what I would want to put in this in. Oh, it's also a demon, but I mean, so 3 mana 3/3 and the effect can be powerful, but I don't see the seeing play.
I don't see it seeing play either. I think the effect is conditional, so maybe it's fringe at one point, but I'm gonna say it's bad.
Yeah, on board with you. Bad.
Pony.
Shimmering Courser. 4 mana 3/3. You can only target it with hero powers and spells, and it's a beast. So it's a 4 mana 3/3, which is bad. But if this is ever good, like just putting things on it, like different various buffs, like it's just completely unfun to play against.
So obnoxious.
Yeah, and just not probably not a healthy card for the game if it ever becomes good. Arcane Tyrant, 5 mana 4/4 elemental, cost 0. If you cast a spell, they cost 5 or more. I think it has potential to be good, because tempo, anything that costs 0 can be abused. I can set up for some good tempo turns. I think it could be fine in a kind of a mage deck or a druid deck. Druid especially because you can play Ultimate Infestation and sometimes you have hand size issues, so you can play it and immediately play this as well with your Ultimate Infestation. So we'll see, but I think it could be powerful.
Yeah, I think this card has got potential. At first, I was like, this card's bad, but I'm warming up to it more and more now that I think about it. There might be some kind of Druid deck where you no longer play Jade Druid or Big Druid, and you just play some kind of spell-heavy Druid, and this card gets played in that, and it's like a Malagos Druid where your end game is the Malagos combo with Twig of the World Tree, and you can UI and then play this card for free, and hopefully it hits him in the face, and then you can do your combo. So I think this card, Carnivorous Cube, 5 mana 4/6, Battlecry, destroy a friendly minion, Death Rattle, summon 2 copies of it. This card is really interesting, and I actually think it's good. I just don't know what it fits in.
Yeah, I'm the same way. It could be good. I'm just not sure where you play it. I always think it's kind of cute if you play it in Hunter. You have Play Dead. You have access to Play Dead, so you can play this, kill something, and Play Dead, bring back 2 copies. But again, I'm not sure where you would play this.
That's the biggest issue, is where does this see play? But a lot of minions, if you hit it, you have a 4/6 body. Spiteful Summoner, 6 mana 4/4, Battlecry, reveal a spell from your deck, summon a random minion with the same cost. This card I think has potential, but I think it's bad.
There's another one, I think it has potential. I'm just not sure where you would play it. Because a lot of the heavy spell decks, you also want cheap spells. In Mage, you want the Frost Bolts, that kind of thing. Druid, you want the Wild Growth. It's probably better in Druid because you have less cheap spells. You just kind of
Corridor Creeper.
7 mana, 5/5, costs 1 less for whenever a minion dies, and this card's in your hand. I know some people are saying it's good because it counts both minions on both sides of the field, but I don't think it's playable because it has to be in your hand as well. You know, your favorite card.
I love this card. All right, 8 mana, Grand Archivist. 4/7 at the end of your turn, cast a spell from your deck. Targets chosen randomly. I think this card is fringe.
I think it's bad.
And Ant is wrong. I am right.
No, the card's bad.
The card is fringe.
Chooses targets randomly.
I'm going Seeping Oozling into Silver Vanguard, into Grand Archivist, into Call of the Wild. Speaking of bad.
Pretty bad. 9 mana, 2/4. We're at an all-time low for 9 mana cards.
This has been a...
Recruit a dragon. So there's only has to be... You know, this is playable is there's a dragon in the meta where, like, if it's in play, you win the game.
Sleepy
and I can't think of a dragon. Yeah, exactly. Can't think of a dragon like that.
It's also,
so they would have to print one.
It's
like
also
that.
at the end of your turn, so it's not even like you could do this and get Malygos.
Oh,
try
yeah.
and do something. So it's like even worse. Like the only thing this can do is summon like Primordial Drakes and Sleepy Dragons, so you can like live. But like you're playing Primordial Drakes and Sleepy Dragons, and you can just play those without the 2/4.
I guess it's repeated, right? So you keep pulling dragons from your deck. Is that relevant? Probably not.
I mean, it's kind of cute if you play this with Barnes and you get this.
Sure.
And you go Barnes this and pull out Primordial Drake, and you're just gonna keep pulling dragons out. Or you can go gather your party and like a dragon control warrior, and you pull this guy out, and then he pulls another guy out, and then they're having a party, a dragon party.
I think it's a nice stream.
I think it's a nice stream too, and I think it's bad.
Okay.
All right, we're finally on the legendaries of the set. I think there are 5 of them. First one is Zola the Gorgon. Play on cheese, I believe it is. 3 mana, 2/2, Battlecry. Choose a friendly minion. Add a golden copy of it to your hand. I love the fact that it says golden copy. What do you think, Ant?
I've heard people talk about it in Quest Rogue. You know, it's another balancer. It also leaves the minion in play, which is like not the worst thing ever. You know, instead of like having to bounce it back to your hand, it leaves it in play. Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't seem that good, but it maybe can see play at some point. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm going to say it has potential. I don't think it's the greatest. I don't think it's bad. I think there's definitely a world where this could see play, though. So I'm going to say potential. I'm going to say fringe.
Okay.
Ooh.
The Darkness. 4 mana, 20/20. It starts dormant, and you shuffle 3 candles into your opponent's deck. When drawn, this awakens. So they have to draw all 3 candles. So it's pretty much like a 4 mana do nothing until they draw all the candles, and you have a 20/20. So I mean, people were saying it like messes up the Raza Anduin Priest, right? Because they can't do Kazakis or Raza if you just like play this on 4. So I mean, maybe it's playable for that. We'll see. I don't know. It's definitely a really cool card, though.
It's really cool. One thing I thought of when I first saw this is like, oh my god, this thing's broken with Evolve. Like, you just evolve into this thing, and I'm like, oh my god. But I realized it starts dormant. Like, they specifically said, you are not evolving into this card.
Or you're not silencing it, that kind of thing.
Yeah, or you're not silencing anything like that. So
wait, so it starts dormant? So, like, if you evolve into it...
It literally does nothing. It just starts dormant.
Okay.
Which makes me wonder if you can even evolve into it.
We'll see.
I mean, we'll see. Maybe you can evolve into this and just hit people in the face for... Everyone thought they were nerfing Evolve with all these 5 mana 1/1s, and it's like, well, here's a 20/20. Good luck.
But, like, it's not on the board, so you're not playing it. I guess it's not a battle cry. It would just immediately go dormant, but, like...
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Can you even evolve into this?
Yeah, I don't know. I would think you can evolve into it, but, like, does it immediately go into dormant? I would think so, right? Or else that'd be, like, super broken. But
yeah, I like the flavor of it, though. I love the flavor of it, and I think it has potential. So I'm going to say fringe.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Yeah. Also can be a counter to Raza Anduin. Marin the Fox, though. We've already had this card.
We've had this card for a bit, and it's seen some fringe play, but I don't think it's good.
Yeah, a lot of the treasures do completely different things as well. So it's hard to build your deck around what you want, like Marin the Fox to do.
Yeah, because if you get one and you wanted the other,
Yeah, exactly. They're just like
it's kinda
completely
bad.
different, right?
Yeah, so
So it's really hard for you to like make your deck.
I think it's bad.
Hmm.
I think this is all the treasures. Yeah, this is the pictures.
Yeah. We've,
We already know that.
yeah, that's the 08, and then you get some
Chest,
treasures and
treasures.
stuff.
How many more legendaries are there? There's a 9 mana.
There's like 3 more, right?
Oh, there's 2 more. There's 2 more. There's King Tog Waggle himself. 8 mana,
Swap
5/5.
decks.
Swap decks with your opponent. Give them a ransom spell to swap back. The ransom spell is 5 mana. Swap decks back. And why don't you go ahead and show them the true combo with this deck that's going to make this card over the top.
All right, so you can go Hemet and this, right? So you Hemet your deck and then draw this and you play it. So you take their deck and then you explore Ungaro. And then they switch back because they have no cards in their deck, and then you Geist them. And I don't think that matters at all. I think it's still pretty bad. The other one is like you set up Counterspell or Mana Bind, and then
Oh, and then you when they swap the deck back, if they don't play around it, then
yeah,
you're
exactly.
gonna swap it back. Like,
Yeah,
have it back.
exactly. You can do the same thing with like Hemet and like having no cards in your deck, and then you just set up these secrets, and then yeah, you just like give them the ransom spell, and if they can't like swap it back, I don't know.
Or you play a priest
It's
deck.
like really awkward.
You play
Yeah.
a priest deck and you Archbishop Benedictus and take all their cards because they're Razakis priest, and then you play Togwaggle and give them all the cards you took from them, so their deck has duplicates.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that's a card. And I think we're moving on to the 1 second. All right, moving on to the last card of the set. 9 mana, 5/5. Master Oak Heart. Battlecry, recruit a 1, 2, and 3 attack minion.
Yeah. I mean, it could be pretty good because it doesn't specify mana cost. It's just attack, so you can get an allocate for your 3. I'm not sure what your 1 and 2 would be. You figure that one out, but there are things like that where you can get allocate. You can get specific things. You can get a Void Lord, for your 3. You can get a Tar Creeper, Tar Lord, that kind of thing for your 1. So we'll see. I don't know. It has potential. You're also putting 4 guys into play. So yeah, I think it has potential. I'm not sure where you put it right now.
Yeah,
But it definitely can see play.
I think it has potential. I'm not sure what you put it in. One of the cutest things I just thought of that you can do with this is you can play it. You get Alakir, you get Doppelgangster, and you get just whatever one drop, like whatever one attack minion you want. It doesn't really matter. Maybe it's like a Stonehill. It doesn't matter. And then you swing at the Alakir and evolve everything. And you evolve a 6-drop, a 10-drop, 9-drop, and probably like a 4 or 3-drop.
There you go.
Which we're living in a dream world there, but that's kind of crazy that can happen. It's like another Doppelgangster.
Yeah, exactly. There you go, dude.
That is it for our card review. Brought to you by Space Station Gaming's very own Ant _HS and myself, Dr. Jikininki. I had to hype Ant up. Ant's the
I was waiting
Ant's
for you
the-
to say it. I was like, are you not on the team? What is going on?
yeah, it's just Ant, dude. Ant's the team. Ant carries everybody right now.
Oh, God.
So I think that's the card review. Really looking forward to this set. Yeah, you got any last words, Ant?
Buy the priest cards. They're very good. And I love you. Follow me on Twitter. And _HS.
Yep. I'm at Dr. Jikininki. There's also at Space Station Gaming. Hopefully do more videos like this in the future, whether they be videos of decks or videos of cards. But thank you again for our first card review. That was great, Ant. I hope you enjoyed it. Let's hopefully do it in the
had fun.
future. Hopefully you text me back. I'll give you my number. We'll go on a date.
All right. I guess I have to, right?
All right. Thanks, guys. Y'all take it easy.
Let's hear some comments.